Now, today's true story-ish. In fact, all our stories are based on real-life, true happenings at Honeybrook Farm. Last year we had a wedding. We do quite a few weddings and parties here. We kind of quite like it. Oh, off you go then. That's it. And I remember one wedding we did. There was about 300 or 400 guests, and it was a very good wedding. We had a right good laugh, and everyone had lots of drink, and it was all very, very good. And then, when it all came to a conclusion, we did notice that the bride and bridegroom were looking a bit worse for wear, and they were going to spend the night in the honeymoon suite at a very local hotel in Wimborne. I'm not allowed to tell you the name of the hotel, so I won't tell you it was the King's Head. And when they went to check in to stay the night in the bridal suite, they weren't allowed in because they were so drunk. So anyway, that is the basis of a story, but it is a true story. Anyway, so today's true story is, I feel a little bit like Ronnie Corbett here. I should be having a little chair and prattling on about something that's happened. But anyway, another true story is, when the gates are closed to the general public, we do like letting the animals have a little run round, and if the truth is known, they really do enjoy it. So many a time I have gone to go down the road, gone to put my foot on the clutch pedal, and a chicken has squawked, and I've had to go down, pick the chicken up, and put him on the back seat, obviously with his restraints on, and a booster seat because they're not very big. So that's what does happen and can happen on a regular basis. And a similar thing happened. We had to move some cows to Exeter Market, and Exeter is about 2 hours from here with a jeep and a trailer. So we loaded them up. That's it, we loaded them up, and I got to the Kilmington services, and I normally put some little diesel in there just to give it a little bit of refreshment and just to check that the cows are okay. And as I leapt out of the jeep at the early hours of about 7 o'clock, I noticed there was a very strange squealing noise, and it was a squealing noise that I'd never heard of before. And I'd only been stopped for a few minutes, and I couldn't work out where this squealing noise was coming from. And at the same time, a man in the petrol station came out. He couldn't also believe what this noise was. It didn't sound anything like a noise coming from your engine, but it was coming from the engine. So I opened up the bonnet, and there, sat inside the engine, was, did you see that Ginger Tom? His name's Nigel. Nigel had climbed into the engine bay and was asleep in the engine bay, and when I stopped, it wasn't getting any cooling, and he was burning his feet on the exhaust manifold. Can you believe that?
I can't believe that.
Unbelievable. So I opened the bonnet, and I thought he was going to leap at me, but he didn't. He sort of crawled out and looked very, very sad for himself. And I just sort of shut the door, and as I shut the door, Dave was also inside. So both Dave and Nigel, the little cats, had had a lift to Exeter services. Anyway, we unloaded the calves, put them in the market, and when we came back, I told the story to everyone, and they didn't believe me. So just to prove the point that it did actually happen, I got Liam, who's a bit strange, to open up the back of the car, and there was Dave and Nigel asleep in the boot. All right? Anyway, next story coming up. Love you. Bye.
Bye.